Very motivated for that one, but he didn't find it easy. He found it very heavy, didn't finish the extension. You notice here he's nicely over the bar. Extends, but not quite enough, and the bar doesn't get overhead.
Poland now. Osich competed in the 92 Olympics in what was then the 110 kilo category. Finished 5th then. Ronnie Weller of Germany was the winner on that occasion in Barcelona. And we had hoped that he'd be competing today, but of course, as you already know from the super heavies, he's out injured, which is a big disappointment for all of us. But, this man finished behind Weller in Atlanta, finished in 8th place. Well, he lifted 170 and a half in America last summer, and he's 170.
He had the strength there, but unfortunately the weight got behind him. He knew what he had to do. He started to walk backwards, but it's not easy to walk backwards with that sort of weight above your head. And he just lost his balance there.
Yes, he weighed in today at 106.2 kilos. And he was trying to lift up 170. Now, Wuhan Gozia of Georgia. Also trying this weight, following the same path as the pole, 165, 170. And the world record for the snatch held by the Ukrainian Tamizov. He'd be wonderful to watch. He was the Olympic champion, holds all the major records, but not on duty for Ukraine today. They've left it to the young Sheshlanikov to try and keep his title. Only 8 seconds left. Got to get going. Very tight for time. It needs a warning.
Looked a bit relaxed there, didn't he? He pulled the bar up, plenty of strength, pulled it up to arm's length. It went a little bit away from him. You notice the bar's moving as he moves it off the floor. Moves in front, pulls it back. Unfortunately, pulls it a little bit too far back, and over its head it goes.
I think he could have done with a little advice from the coach on the side there, just to warn him, because I think he, you know, the bar, as you said, he was still messing around with the bar with about 6 seconds to go.
The bar must be stationary before they put it off the floor. That one was moving towards him.
Now, Sakarov for Latvia. This is 3rd and final attempt. Missed the 2nd one. Going for the 3rd. This would be 7.5 kilos up on what he achieved last year. Again, he looked a bit casual the first time, didn't he?
Yes, we're looking for a little bit more positive mental attitude, I think. Well, as we said, he can do it when he gets himself in the right frame of mind, and there it is, a perfect lift.
And that's a good effort there. Pity he didn't do that 2nd time around. He might have maybe gone for an extra 2.5 kilos after that.
Yes, we'll see soon how important that was.
So, it'll be the pole to come out next. Just to underline 1 or 2 absentees as we see the defending champion, Shashanikov, the Tamazov of the Ukraine, not in action, neither Surtsov of Russia, Niku Vlad of Romania, Emelianov of Belarus. These were the men who occupied the first 4 places in the Olympics. Had they been here, this man and the rest would have been really in deep trouble trying to get a medal, because they're seriously of another quality. But many of them, doing what the Greek team are doing, which is taking the opportunity at the beginning of a new Olympic cycle to recharge the batteries. Like anything you do, you really just can't keep going year after year after year. There comes a time when you've got to change, and Mr. Osuk, now that's his third and final attempt. He went to 172.5, having failed at 170, and now as a result of that, he really has put himself into a difficult position because he drops back to 165.
You can see here that the bar's getting away from him in front. It's just moving a little bit too far away from him. Then he has to put it back in line, and when he does so, he pulls it a little bit too far back and has to race back after it. And they're not comfortable walking backwards, and down it comes.
Yes, he's not the lightest of the men in this final lineup at 108 kilos. But neither is he the heaviest, but still 165, that's a disappointment when you consider that he lifted 177.5 in Atlanta, 170 in the Worlds, in 1995. But the competition moves on, and we go with it now with Dmitri Sakarov for Germany. And he's managed 175 in Atlanta, and that's exactly what he's trying to lift now. Qualified coach, and that's how he earns his living when he's not training. Mantek, the head coach in the wings, pleased with that, but he's actually trained by Rainer Dortzer, who you know.
Yes, I've known Rainer for a number of years, the former world weightlifting champion himself, leading his man off the stage at the moment. It's nice to see that, as you say, more of these athletes are, in fact, far smarter than they ever used to be. They're not wearing belts, they're not wearing big bandages that they used to wear. They're looking far more professional and far more like athletes.
So now the man from Georgia has one more attempt, missed at 170, so he's gone up to 175 to keep the game plan going. Remember, these men do get medals for the snatch and the clean and jerk, but what they really want is a medal to be on the overall podium for the total at the end. That's what really counts. Looking back at the record, back in 1995, he actually lifted 180. So, again. Now, I think he could have done that.
He didn't look very positive when he came out there.
No, I meant in terms of strength.
Yes,
I think the strength was there.
He just never finished that extension there. The bar never came back over his head, and he just lost it forward.
Well, it's always difficult to defend a championship, but I must say one or two of these men are giving Evgeny Shishlanikov, who's yet to come in and lift, some encouragement here, because Shishlanikov has yet to start his account. Also waiting in the wings, Denis Godfried of the Ukraine is certainly going to be a formidable opponent for the other men in this lineup, and Skiabatis. This is the other man who's not recorded a lift, and this is his first attempt, 177.5 on the bar. 22 years of age, from Latvia, and missed a medal last year in Norway, finishing 4th.
Yes, a good lift there, very professional, very businesslike. He came out very confidently, attacked the bar with a very vigorous pull, and it went easily to arm's length. You can notice his shoulders there in front of the bar, the back very straight and flat, vigorously extends his hips. Now finishes off with a big squat to stand erect. Very, very good.
Yes, when he finished 4th last year, he really was pretty close. I mean, he was only 2.5 kilos off a medal behind Emelianov of Belarus. And in fact, behind Shishlanikov, he was only 7.5 kilos, so not without a chance. Now, this is the German on the stage. 177.5. So just looking at the body weight game here, because it's beginning to become important here. Sakarov of Germany, having just lifted that weight, now has gone ahead of Skiabartis. 106.80 Prokhorov, Victor Skiabartis 107.70. But of course, Skiabartis has got 2 more lifts to go, and Shislanikov and Godfried have got to get going. Yeah, so Prokhorov, he can do no more. All he can do is wait, watch, and I guess hope that 1 or 2 slip up, but the odds don't look good for him to get an individual medal, in the snatch at least, but 177.5, maybe he won't be too far behind when they begin the clean and jerk phase. The important thing was he got that lift, and also that he's taken 3 lifts and he's got every single one of them. Now, Skiabartis, 182.5. And both the champion and Godfrey posted before the competition started that they intended to come in at 185, and that plan looks as if it's going to be realized in a few moments. So Skiabartis goes back into the lead there with that very good lift. And the interesting thing, Jeff, is that he's now taken 2 of his 3 lifts. The other 2 men who've not yet started are both lighter than Skiabartis of Latvia. So he's got 1 more lift, and now it's going to be very interesting how he plays that final card.
Yes, there'll be a lot of technical discussion backstage, a lot of tactics being discussed.
I mean, he lifted 177.5 in Atlanta, so he's done really well. He lifted 180 in the Europeans last year. So things are going in the right way for Skiabartis. As we said, he's only 22, so now the defending champion. But what happens now? Russians yet to get a gold medal at these championships. And 185 it is. Only 21. Didn't win the snatch last year, lifted 185 and ended up with the silver medal. But did take the clean and jerk, and total 405.
Well, no lift on that occasion. He's looking at his hand as if it slipped, but he chalked them very well. He should have had no problems. Nobody else has had a problem.
No, and that's perhaps given a little bit more encouragement there to Skiabartis, who's got that 1 lift left. He's got 1 life. Shislanikov has just used up 1 of his, and Godfried now looking very concentrated and very businesslike. Get the impression he could swallow this without any problem. But impressions are misleading sometimes. Looked very positive when he came onto the stage there, but what went wrong here, Jeffrey?
Well, his shoulders aren't as far in front of the bar as I would have liked to have seen, and consequently he starts to pull himself away from the bar. As he comes up, his shoulders go back, he never gets underneath the bar, so there's nothing underneath it to support it, and down it comes again.
So, Skiabartis of Latvia he won't be watching this, I suspect, although there is a television monitor in the warm-up area. He'll just be focusing on his own preparation. It's down to his coach to keep sort of matters under review. Okay, so the champion now has got 185, and so being the lighter man, he's ahead of Shivatis, not in terms, only in terms of body weight, but also by 2.5 kilos. This time he did get really under it and drive up well.
Yes, a good lift. He'll be kicking himself as to why he missed the first one, though.
Russian coach coming in. Godfried to try 185. If he does this, he takes the lead because his body weight, 104 kilos 30 to Shislanikov's 106.9.
Well, as you said, David, he did eat it, but unfortunately he missed one attempt before he did it.
So now it's the Ukraine who lead Russia, with Latvia in third place. And we have a fascinating competition here because they've all got one lift left. Shivatis is looking for 187.5 on the bar. Now, if he gets this, then he knows he's got the bronze, whatever happens. But if either of the other two fail, then he could move up and get a higher value medal. His disadvantage is his body weight. He's the heaviest of the three men left in the snatch phase. Procedure he's gone through 1,000,000 times, locking onto the bar. Oh, what a pity. So he's definitely in third place. Just for a moment there, I thought he was going to manage to do that.
Yes, unfortunately, he got it a little bit further back on his left arm than he did on his right. You can see that it just slipped out and he had to let it down again.
So now there are two men left in the snatch, Shislanikov and Godfrey. So 190 on the bar for Shislanikov, 5 kilos more than he snatched a year ago. And we also were by the sea. That time we were in Stavanger, by the fjord in Norway. Today we're just alongside the Croatian Adriatic. Just as nice. Just a bit warmer here, Jeff.
Just a little bit. This man's in second place, making a bid for his gold.
Well, that time he really showed the strength because, again, it looked to me as if the bar was just a little twisted again, back on the right, forward on the left, but he managed to resolve that problem.
Yes, it's a good strong pull here. He's nicely in front of the bar, extends vigorously, gets into a good position, but has to balance himself here, gets checked. As you say, he's starting to turn. He was a little bit out of balance, but he stayed down there, corrected it before he drove up. And that's what you need to do. Spend time at the bottom getting it right before you finish it off.
Now here's Godfried. Now he doesn't have to put any more weight on the bar, and he's not going to, because if he does lift this, then he gets the gold in the snatch. The temptation might have been to take a 2.5 kilo advantage forward to the clean and jerk phase, but it's one thing to be ambitious, the other thing's to be realistic. So this is for the gold in the snatch. And the champion, who took the silver The overall champion, Shislanikov, who took the silver in the snatch last year, takes the gold this time around.
And he made the mistake that the previous lifter didn't. Here, he realises he's a little bit out of balance, but he drives up and tries to correct his way up. He didn't settle at the bottom. He's a little bit out of balance there. The bar's a little bit behind him, but instead of staying down there and correcting it before he drives up, he tries to rush it. And unfortunately, it all comes crashing down.
And that is a very important lift for Shislanikov, because as a result of that, he's going to carry forward a 5 kilo advantage over Godfried. And here are the facts and figures. Shislanikov takes the gold in the snatch for Russia and a 5 kilo advantage over Denis Godfrey, who's down at 185. Sherbatis gets the bronze, 182.5. He's 7.5 kilos behind. And Prokhorov, well, he's got to find something special in the clean and jerk if he wants to get into the medal shake-up. And then the Latvian and the Georgian. The Georgian very disappointed there by Mukran Gojia. That really is disappointing to see him back on 165. And really, it's going to be probably between the top three now for the clean and jerk medals, as well as the overall total. Well, we're going to take a short break here on Eurosport as you see the second pages. And there, just looking down to see Rovati of Italy, who lifted earlier on from the B group. He's the best there in 10th place. Well, a short break here on Eurosport, and then we'll be back for the clean and jerk. $200. And that's two failures.
He's having no trouble cleaning the bar to the chest, but he just can't get it to arm's length. It's not a question of balance, it's just a matter of strength and drive. You see here, a nice, easy clean. Drives vigorously out of that squat, settles himself there, drives it, but it just doesn't go to arm's length. And there's no way that he'll hold it unless it does.
Yes, I have to say, he looks rather a long way from getting that.
As far as strength is concerned, a lifter should be able to jerk anything that he can clean, and he can clean that very easily, but he just isn't driving it out to arm's length. Maybe it's a determination, maybe it's technique, but it looks to be power more than anything else.
220, that's the figure that Denis Godfrey and the champion Shislanikov are going to open up at. So 20 kilos to go. Now, here's the Greek coaching team trying to sort him out. And it's a careful balance for a coach, isn't it? It's a mixture of coaxing and smacking.
That's right. He's got just over a minute here to get himself in a good frame of mind.
And it's not going to be a good day for him, whatever happens, because if he leaves, he's going to end up on 362.5, and it's going to be a poor total. He's not going to be anywhere.
He doesn't appear to have his mind on this competition. Maybe it's more at Rhodes.
Mind you, this is what he did lift in Finland. Just checking the figures. Well, eventually he gets that 200 kilos, giving himself a total of 362.5, which, Jeff, is exactly the same total and exactly the same snatch, jerk and total that he achieved in Finland on the first, I think it was about the 10th of April now. But he certainly would have come here looking for better than that.
No, it was the same clean, but this time he managed to finish it off and drive that bar out to arm's length. As we said, he had the strength. He proved that by cleaning it, but he managed to finish it off.
So now the bar at 205 for the opening effort of this man. Germany's Dmitri Sakarov, and his task is to try and make up some ground, because he's behind the medalist from the snatch. He's 5 kilos behind the bronze medalist and no less than 12.5 behind Shislanikov, who took the snatch gold, and that's a long way.
Yes, it was a good clean here. You see, vigorously pull that bar up, settles on his chest there. He drives it overhead, but it's a soft lock once again. Look at those arms, they're shaking a little bit. The referee's having a good look before they give him the down signal, and he's gone off to think about what he's got to do for his second attempt now.
Here's Osich. Go back to 1989, the record book. First came to note there as junior world champion. Had been second a year earlier. Usually his body weight's around 110 kilos, but he's actually weighed in today at 106.20, so that's considerably under the 108.
No lift there, it didn't go to arm's length on the right arm particularly. It was a little bit off balance there. Nice clean. As we come out, we can see him pull that bar up to his shoulders, drives up, keeps himself in balance there, lets the bar settle, because if it's moving then he'll be disqualified from lifting. There, he drives the bar up, but you can't see very well, but it hasn't quite gone to arm's length on his right arm there. And there's no way that he can keep it there in that situation.
Incidentally, if you haven't been with us earlier in the week, let me explain once again. If you see the stage moving up and down, the whole of the stage and the platform on top of probably the springiest basketball court I've ever seen. I was seriously wondering at the beginning of this week whether, when these big men got in action, whether this bar wasn't going to go straight through the floor if somebody dropped it off. I hope that isn't going to happen. But here's Ruslan Grozia, another man who's got an awful lot of catching up to do. A very poor 165 on the snatch. And at the moment, on the bar here, for his second lift, he's got 205. That, of course, would give him a total of 370 running.
Nope, down it comes again. It was on the windpipe there. Very difficult to breathe when you've got nearly 500 pounds pressing down on your windpipe. Nice clean there. Extends well. Drives vigorously out. But that bar is resting on the windpipe. He's having difficulty breathing. You can see him looking a little bit faint there, having no alternative but the bar down.
Off the sort of total that he was producing in 1995, he was producing 400 kilos, and he's well off that, Jeff. I mean, that would have been 370 with one lift to go.
That's right.
So now Osich for Poland. 205 he's got. So this is third and final lift. So he's running at the moment on a 370 total. No, sorry, this is his second lift. He'd have one more after this. Now, can he chuck this above his head? Yes, that's looking good. But again, he's got to be mad at himself for not getting it sorted out the first time.
Yes, there's a little shake of the head there, thinking what might have been. Good clean there. We can see the nice, strong, straight back. Good extension. Drives vigorously out. Moves the bar up there, settles it into a better position there, so it's off his windpipe. Collects himself, keeps the bar under control, drives it vigorously out to arm's length, collects himself so his feet are in line, and waits for the referee to give him the signal.
Very good split as well. It wasn't too shallow, wasn't too deep, it was spot on, really.
Yep.
And one or two more people beginning to come into the hall. The Croatians haven't had, I think they've just had the one man in an A final, but they've had plenty of home lifters in the B groups.
Oh, there's nothing like a competition to encourage lifters to start training hard and working to show off to their friends and family locally.
Well, I've had plenty of people come up to me from Rijeka who've never seen this sport at all, and I've got quite fascinated by it. They didn't really understand the tactics and the game playing that goes on, they'd just simply thought of it as lifting heavy weights. But weightlifting's version of chess seems to have captured one or two imaginations, and who knows, maybe a youngster might turn up out of this visit of the championships to Croatia in some years to come.
Well, we're looking at the warm-up room here, and each lifter will be supported by a team of 4, and if he can smuggle any more, 5 or 6 coaches in there. There'll be people keeping an eye on the opposition to find out what their plans are, how they're warming up, as well as taking care of their own charge and making sure that he's in the right frame of mind and physically prepared for the challenge ahead.
So, just under a minute to go now, and it looks to be the bronze medalist from the snatch, Skiabatis, who's going to come in and try to open his account at 210 kilos. Skiabatis, 210. I think he's hoping to get at least to 215 here, because he wants to put a little pressure.
You better hurry.
On Godfried and Shislanikov.
He left it rather late there before he took the bar off the platform. There was only 5 seconds on the clock when the bar left the platform. There he is, nice, clean, drives strongly out of it. In this position, he seems to be in control. And from our camera under the platform, you can see he drives it out, doesn't get to arm's length, doesn't get underneath it. And there's nothing to stop it coming crashing down onto that platform. Looks nice and strong here. Prepares, drives it out, but just doesn't take it all the way. Doesn't finish it off, doesn't get it overhead, doesn't get it to arm's length.
But enough power.
Oh, I think so, yes.
And back to Shislanikov. Russians, as I said, they've not picked up any overall championships here. They're very much in a rebuilding mold, but that applies to many, many countries. These European Championships in the year after the Olympics, very good opportunity to blood some youngsters.
This will be the first competition for most of these young to the Atlanta Olympic Games. The teams will have noticed that a number of lifters have retired after the Olympics. They'll be selecting new teams that will be ready for Atlanta in 4 years' time.
And for others, for whom this in many cases is their first international, it's not just doing the work on the stage, it's sorting yourself out and knowing where to go and the routine.
These men are learning a new trade.
Yes, this time it'll be 3 white lights. And Skiabatis with 210 kilos to add to the 182 and a half, goes on to 392 and a half for his running total.
As we've discussed, there's a lot more to winning these championships than just being able to lift weights. They have to learn to deal with the pressure that they face. They have to deal with the circumstances, the heat, the cold, whatever they have to deal with on the day. This young man has just cut his hand. What happens is that the bar can tear some of the calluses that develop over years of training. And I think he's gone backstage to have that bandaged up, and he's got to put it out of his mind so he can come and commit himself to his next attempt.
Yes, it's a stinging pain. If you've ever had a blister burst on you and you know how painful that is, well, it's similar to that. But mind over matter is very much what these men are about.
Oh, if they let that get on top of them, it can affect their performance and cause them to miss their attempts, which they can't allow that to happen. More changes of body weight now, of weight are coming forward now. The coaches are vying for position. It's a crucial competition.
Very much so, because in the clean and jerk, if you have had a poor snatch, this is the moment when you need to make up.
Another marshal running through there to announce another change of poundage.
And here comes Sakarov for Germany. And on the bar, 215 kilos. And this is a very definite attempt by Sakarov to make up for the 177.5 kilos that he got left on in terms of the snatch. And the clapping is being led by the German coaching team. You've seen this at the high jump in the athletics, and it just really gives him a little boost of support before it all settles down now. And now it's silence for his concentration. A terrific effort there from Sakarov, and that gives him a total of 392.5 running, and it puts him 2-1 on terms with Skarbatis.
Yes, it was a good clean here. Pulls the bar up. He has to struggle to get it up so he's standing straight. He settles himself, but it doesn't go quite to arm's length cleanly. And for a moment there, he had to struggle with it before he vigorously drove it length.
Very important lift. He was 5 kilos down on Skarbatis after the snatch. He puts himself on exactly the same weight, but by the virtue of his lighter body weight, he's 106 kilos 80. He now goes ahead of the Latvian, and he's got one more lift to go. They both have. So now, before all that, Darius Osuch become momentarily a bit of the forgotten man. 215 kilos here to go with his snatch. Well, he doesn't get it anyway. He wouldn't have overtaken Sakarov in any case. And he slips back down there. Before this, Osuch had lifted 205, so that leaves him on 370. And he'd be disappointed with that. This man was 8th in the Olympic Games. Sakarov was 11th. So that's one little duel where positions have been reversed.
Yes, I'm not quite sure what happened there. He's done something that I've never seen before, and the bar went out to arm's length on his left arm, but it was well short of arm's length on his right arm.
Well, these are the slips of paper that are run in, which you have to do. It has to be an official slip that's put in. You can't just verbally wander up and say, give him an extra 5 kilos. Now, Skarbatis. Now, this is a really important lift. 215, so another 5 kilos to regain the 5 kilo advantage he had over the German after the first half of this competition, the snatch. Well, that's a good piece of lifting by the Latvian. 215 to go with 182.5 means that he now moves up to 397.5. And Sakarov, if he wants to deny Skarbatis of the bronze medal, perhaps that's what these two men are fighting for. Sakarov is now faced with going, by my count, they've got 217.5 on the bar, but he's surely got to go for 220 because 217.5 is nothing for him. He's not going to get a clean and jerk medal. And yes, it will go to 220 in time. But before that, we're going to see Shislanikov come in and open his account. So Sakarov's got a few minutes more before he has to do that. And there'll be a few German prayers before he lifts that He worked hard for the last one.
Yes, the marshals have worked hard today as well with all these changes of poundages.
Well, he looked tense in the warm-up room, prowled around, and now it is his turn. World record by Tamizov in the clean and jerk, 236 kilos. Also, obviously, the European record, so we're not going to get anywhere near that today. Very nice.
He'll feel far more confident now he's got one on the board and a medal in his pocket. Good clean there, drives up vigorously. Sets his balance. Drives it out to arm's length. And although the arms are bowed, they are straight, they are locked out. And he gets the down signal for which he thanks the referees.
And that's good news. I mean, he's up at 410, which is a 5 kilos up on his winning total last year in Stavanger. So now Godfried. Godfried, who wasn't a factor in the Europeans last year, he just focused on preparing for the Olympic Games. Got his reward with a bronze at 99 kilos. Also toe 20 on this bar. Well, that gives him a total of 405. Remember, he was 5 kilos behind Shislanikov after the snack, and he remains in that position. He is the lighter of the two, and that may be his game plan. And on the final lift, equal up with Shislanikov and use his lighter body weight to gain the day.
That's what it looks like. You see there, just as he starts to recover his feet, he just tripped a little bit. Some of the planks on the platform a little bit raised, minutely, but enough just to inconvenience the lifters.
Okay, back to the Latvian-German battle. So this is now Prokhorov with 220. And we think that if he gets this, he will have 397.5. The lighter body weight, this could be for the bronze medal. This is a big lift for him. Used a fair amount of petrol getting there. You always had that feeling, but today that was just going to be a bit too far.
Yes, he put a lot into that clean. There wasn't too much left for the jerk, but he doesn't seem too disappointed. You see him there. He keeps his elbows off the knees. His knees come in. He drives out of the squat, indicating that he was under pressure there. He settles, drives it out. He gets to arm's length, but unfortunately he just slips on the platform a little bit, which you can do when you're tired and under pressure. And down it comes, crashing onto the platform.
Yes, he really did struggle to get there. That feeling when you're driving down the motorway and the petrol gauge has been on reserve for an awful long time, and are you going to make the motorway station in time?
But a good demonstration of gymnastic ability, if nothing else, as he somersaults back off the platform.
But nice to see he can smile about it. Now here's Shislanikov. Remember, he and Godfrey have taken one lift each. The bar has now gone to 220. This is for a total of 415. And by contrast, that was pretty straightforward. That was not.
225 is an important weight because it means they get the 4 discs, the 4 big 25-kilo discs on each side, which all the lifters like to get. It increases the spring in the bar a little bit. You'll see here that he drives up, extends, finishes the clean without any problem. Breathes in, collects himself, drives it out, but it doesn't quite settle at arm's length. And he has trouble, and down it comes.
So this is perhaps given Godfried a bit of heart now. Because remember, Godfried's got to make up that 5-kilo deficit. And is Shislanikov going to follow him? Well, Godfried, I suppose, looking to let Shislanikov take this, knowing that if he were to fail it, he'd then have 2 lifts. He could take the next one at 225 himself. That would still, though, leave him 5 kilos behind, and then he would have to go to 230.
The big tactic here is that he's putting Shislanikov under pressure. He's making him think about that last failure, think about what he's going to do now, while Godfried can take his time and see exactly what total he needs in order to take this competition.
And if he knows that he's got to do 230, then he may decide that he's going to take 2 attempts at that weight.
I don't think there's going to be too much difference in Denis Godfrey's mind between 225 and 230. I think he's quite confident that he can achieve both of them if he has to on the day.
So maybe the Shislanikov have just extended and shortened on Godfried, but might change in a moment. Again, the clean is fine. Yes, come on! So, a little bit of pressure now back on Godfried. 225 to go with 190 gives a running total of 415. Jeff, that's 10 kilos up on last year's gold medal winning performance. So you can hardly criticize him on that score. Put it in context, the overall world record is 435, set by Kamazov of the Ukraine in Istanbul at the World Championships in 1994. But Kamazov is a rare talent. But, and I say that because, again, 415 is not bad.
Not bad at all. But he put himself under pressure with that second attempt failure. And now Denis Godfrey knows exactly what he's got to do to the competition. He's entirely focused. He's got 2 attempts in which to do it. But I'm sure he's going to try and do it with his second attempt.
As we speak, his total at the moment is 405. So if he goes up and gets this extra 10 kilos, 230, only his second lift, were he to fail, he'd have one more chance. He would be equal, though, with the Russian, and his body weight would give him the gold. Again, the clean is fine. Is the second Ukrainian gold medal in the space of 24 hours. Denis Godfrey takes the title away from Shislanikov with his second lift. Mark Huster there, the champion of 83 kilos, just offering his congratulations. And if he wants to, he can now have a lift to nothing.
Well, this is one of the reasons why Timur Timosov is not here, because his Ukraine teammate has just won the competition without him. You can see here, good clean, bends well into a nice deep squat, drives out of it. But this is where he has a little problem here. He rushes himself, he's desperate to win this gold medal. He doesn't settle himself. It's a little bit out of balance, but a couple of paces, bring himself under control. And there he is with a down signal.
Which means that if he actually gets the technique spot on, there's every chance to go. And I've got to tell you, as we're watching this, Godfried is being extremely cheeky because he's asked for 237 kilos, and that is a world record. It's obviously also a European record, and he's trying to take it away from his own teammate, Sakarov. Now, I think this is a bit saucy, but he's never going to get this unless he gets the technique absolutely right. And I think if he tries to rush this, if he gets the clean, he's never going to do it.
The clean looks strong, and there's every opportunity here. 7.5 kilos is a big jump, but it's not impossible. And if he does the same as last time, I think that he has a chance. However, he must control himself. He must settle at the end of that clean and make sure that he drives it straight, because if he went up as quickly as he did last time, it'll come down even faster.
A body weight of 104 kilos. That is the body weight of Denis Godfrey today. And he is now about to try and pick up 237 kilos. We've had no world record at this championship. Is this the moment?
This is the first attempt at over 5 pounds. that we've seen at this championship.
Well, he's got part one. Well, that's a little bit of flash, a little bit of steam, and he's given us a little bit of fun.
This, as we said, he did exactly the same on the third attempt as he did on his second attempt. It was excellent clean. You see him here extending, settling at the bottom, driving up. The knees just coming a little bit as he makes a bit of an effort. He then rushes it, drives it out to arm's length with a little bit in front, and down it comes very, very fast.
And just to think, in the Atlanta Olympics in the 99 kilo class, he was lifting 215 kilos. Today he's lifted 230 in any case, and he wasn't that far away.
This man's going to have to decide where he's going in the future. He's either got to come back down to 99, or he's got to put on perhaps another 5 kilos in body weight and make himself a full heavyweight. And if he does that, then obviously the strength will improve and he'll get these poundages.
So the Ukraine get another gold medal, the first one by Stanislav Rybolchenko last evening in the 99 kilo category. And the medals getting spread around nicely. Turkey started off as the dominant force, but here confirmation. It puts Godfried there clearly ahead of Shislanikov by 5 kilos in the clean and jerk. And there you can see Prokhorov in fact taking the bronze medal, and that's the consolation for him. 2:15, making up the difference between himself and Skarbatis after the snatch as well, which wasn't quite enough at the end of the day to move Prokhorov into bronze medal position, but at least he's got that consolation. Skarbatis missing out there. 2:15, it's the body weight that's the difference for the medal. And then further down, well, you can see Rovati, who lifted earlier in the B group, moving up into 9th place. But really, just 4 men in this competition, and much discussion at these championships as to whether the finals next year might feature the best 6 rather than the best 8 or 10 as it's been for a few years now. And that, if it happens, would be in alignment with the new weight categories which come in. But the champion at 108 kilos, Denis Godfrey, ending on 415, exactly the same kiloage as Shislanikov, the defending champion. But there you can see the body weights in yellow there, 104.30 to 106.90, and the Ukrainian gets the title. Yevgeny Shislanikov has to settle for silver this year, and Skarbatis there, the bronze medal, got a bronze medal in the snatch earlier on, takes all bronze, and Prokhorov with a brave attempt to try and close the gap, would have had 397.5, couldn't quite do it, and is down in 4th place. But then you can see there's 22.5 kilos between Prokhorov and the rest, which underlines really that we're looking for a stronger 6 to really fight it out in the future. What a good little competition, Jeff.
Yes, very pleasing. It's nice to see the lifters making a big effort.
And here's Denis Godfrey. And well, there's plenty to look forward to. We've got the medal ceremony coming up shortly, but of course after that our thoughts are going to turn to Thailand and the World Championships coming up in December. Provisionally 15th of December, and all being well, we'll be there, and we'll look forward to your company here on Eurosport for that competition, which incidentally has been scheduled to occur at the same time as the birthday of the King of Thailand. Whatever that means, goodness knows. But I suppose you might have elephants bringing the prize medals in, Jeff.
We'll see when we get there.
Yeah. But Godfried, on this performance here, certainly put him on the list now for Thailand. But as you say, which category will he go for? And indeed, what will happen with Tomazov if he's fit and well to come back? That's a decision the Ukrainians have got to work out, but it's a nice position to be in.
Oh, very nice position to be in. I'm sure there'll be some friction when they get back together, and a bit of friendly banter.
Well, this is the lift that secured the gold medal. And just sorting out these medals. Can't be very difficult, actually. There's only 4 men involved.
I think more important than that, it's more difficult than that, rather, is sorting out the medalists. These are big men. They don't like being rushed, and they don't like being chivied along. Getting all 4 people in the right place at the right time can be quite a challenge.